So anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about on that, all that fucking shit. So if you guys want to turn on your cameras and come out, we'll just sit back and chit chat and shoot the shit now. I don't know about everyone else. I've had a real fucking interesting week this week. Energetically, it's been one hell of a fucking week so far. And it's continuing to be one hell of a fucking week so far. So, yeah, but Maury, they're holding on to silver. They're holding on to the price of silver like this because they can never let it go because they've oversold silver stocks. And I want to say, it's been so long since I did all the silver research. That was like 2012. JP Morgan Chase, I think, owns most of the silver stock shorts. They have oversold silver by a factor of magnitude that if they ever called in, i.e. if people actually called in the silver for actual physical, they don't have 1/10. Like it's, and so this is one of those things. Now, Cliff High made an interesting thing, and he said that there's going to be some new developments, new technologies coming out that we're going to utilize silver in such a way that they're going to have no choice but to let it go. And like the price will very naturally start climbing, and they won't be able to control it because then it won't be a money aspect like gold, silver, platinum. It will be a commodity aspect, i.e. everyone wants fucking silver because they need to use it for this technology. So supply and demand, the price is going to go. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting.
Danny, have you seen the latest thing? Someone had the balls to come out and say that, the current Q has no close. It's a psyop, right? And
I've seen some of it.
Yeah, they're going absolutely ape shit. And that DeLongKid, he's someone in the computer thing with gaming, and I don't know. I've just heard his name before. In fact, Quinn Michaels is harassing the shit out of him for some reason. But anyway, it was started while they were at one of those DEF CON things. And he suggested do it for a little while. And what the whole idea, it was started by that cicada thing, those real hard puzzles. Yep. Cicada. And the members of that can be DOD, current or ex-members of that, or NSA, and just real intelligent people. And what they wanted to do was wake people up, what I thought it was for, and get them to research. And they were going to stop about last November. Well, they got hacked and taken over. And now it's being ran by another entity. And all of a sudden, the trip codes get changed and that. And so this DeLongKid came on and said, yes, at this point now, it is a psyop. And that there's they'll give you a few little things that might be true, but this wasn't the purpose of it. All of it was to give you hints to start looking at this stuff and find the information and learn to not be a sheep. Yeah. And find out what's going on and then pass the information around.
Yep.
And they were very, very tight about not showing anything or telling anything that would get them in trouble, like, because they have to sign all the non-disclosures and that. You were in the military,
yeah.
And that. So there wasn't any of that kind of stuff going on. But, oh my God, online. Oh, no, this isn't a psych-up. I'm not being programmed. They're going fucking nuts. And because there are people who all they do all day is report and try to decipher the stuff that you can't decipher because it's bullshit. And
isn't it a great distraction?
Oh, yeah. They did exactly what you were saying that was going to happen. And yeah, you're right. It's like someone just told them that the Bible was written from a history of the Sumerians, which it has. It's of a genocidal tribe. You can call them the Anunnaki, whatever you want.
Yep.
But it's this tribe of bastards in that, and that's where the Jewish religion made it from, and then the Christians did it. So, but it's just kind of like the emperor has no clothes, you guys. You're gonna have to face it, and they can't sit at the computer all day waiting for the next little tidbit to listen to, and they're expecting to see all these orange jumpsuits and Gitmo getting filled, and there are flights back and forth to Gitmo because there are people who work there who get days off, and they get to go back and forth. They don't have to stay there.
The whole thing is with the Q stuff. And I mean, I followed a bit of it. Some of it's interesting, and I like the questions that they ask. Some of the questions that get brought up are very pointed, and if there's one good thing to come out of the Q stuff, it is a whole shitload of people who are used to sitting back, sucking their thumb, and sucking up whatever the social media told them to believe, have started researching for themselves.
Right.
So great.
That was the whole purpose of them starting it.
Yep. But
yeah,
I made a comment in the Unfuckers group yesterday, this morning. I don't know. Time is completely irrelevant to me at this moment, especially this week. It's about actions. And when we see, like, I'm personally, like I said, I've talked about this before. I went through all this shit in 2011 and 2012 and 2013 where I was up to my eyeballs in the intel world. And I had my own sources, and I fucking dug out the stuff, and I was trying to dig out the truth, and we all got led on this merry little chase. And all the shit that I got told back in 2011 still hasn't fucking happened. And it's the exact same shit. This Q stuff is coming out now. Mass arrests, they're all happening. They've all got ankle bracelets on. They're all going to be marched out in orange. I'm sorry, I've been there, done that. And until there's evidence, and I don't mean, they went on for, what was it, back in December and January, it was like, there's how many closed dockets on the courts. Oh my God, all these closed, we found 6,000 closed, locked dockets on the court. Oh my God. And it was like, yeah, that's because they're minors. Anyone who's a minor is a locked docket. Anything that has to do with a safety issue, i.e., a husband beating a wife, someone's on the run from someone else, or whatever, it's a locked docket. This does not mean that some government guy is up in the courts. It doesn't mean that. Sorry. Well, that's been dropped because that's been thoroughly debunked now. So now they're not, you don't see everyone waiting on calculating how many fucking lockdown dockets there are in the courts. Until there is something substantial, I sit on the fence. I'm sorry. There is nothing, absolutely not one thing has happened since all the Q stuff has come out. Not one single thing has happened that is an actual solid piece of evidence that any of this stuff is happening. And unfortunately, same thing goes with the whole Donald Trump. We have all the people who are like, oh, Donald Trump is going to save the world, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. Actions speak louder than words. I have only his actions and only his public actions. You can have whistleblowers coming out the wazoo saying, I'm a whistleblower, I was his fucking hairdresser, or I was his, I don't know, his hooker whore, whatever, and he told me that this and this and this and this and this. Yeah, sorry. It's hearsay. It's bullshit. It's what I see. And what I see is he is doing the exact same shit that Bush, Obama, Clinton, Reagan, he's doing the exact same shit. There's no change. Now, if I'm proven wrong, awesome. I would love to be proven wrong. But when it comes down to it, it's actions. Never mind all the he said, she said in the background. You just have to look at the actual actions of what are going on. Sorry. Asiago is a type of cheese. It's really good cheese, too. And don't ask me why we're talking about cheese. I don't know. There's a secondary conversation going on in the chat that's just like way off. You guys are funny. Fuck, you guys are funny.
Danny?
Yeah, Earl.
When you were talking about, like, all the bullshit, all the lies and that, I had, like, Fleetwood Mac song, Sweet Little Lies back in my head. And it's like, yeah. But it's crazy, right? Because I've just seen a headline where Trump says, "Oh, the Second Amendment will never be changed." I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, it's weird because now they're like going after the Fourth Amendment in the U.S. because the Fourth Amendment has to do with this whole Facebook stuff and all that, you know.
What's the Fourth Amendment? Somebody?
I don't know.
Somebody? One of you American guys, tell me what the Fourth Amendment is. I don't know that one. Well, did you guys see that there's like someone showed a picture of a Common Core history textbook, and they've rewritten the Second Amendment, and what the Second Amendment has been very, very twisted to what it means. Yeah, welcome to re-education of your children. Thanks, Maury. It's the one after the Third Amendment.
Gotta get the humor.
Yeah, no one remembers. No one remembers what the Fourth Amendment is. I'm like, Second Amendment, we all know about that. First Amendment, we all know about that too.
I'm starting my own state militia to get up ahead of that.
There you go. Do it. Actually, I've got several friends down in the States who've got their own. Actually, I got a couple of friends who used to be in your relative neighborhood. Charlotte, I can hook you up with some militia if you want. Fourth Amendment to the United States, part of the Bill of Rights that prohibits unreasonable searches and seizures. It requires reasonable government searches and seizures to be conducted only with the issuance of a warrant, judicially sanctioned. Stop typing, everyone. Judicially sanctioned by probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Yeah, so there's your Facebook. Right? They're taking your information. They're searching your information, and they don't have a warrant.
But now there's like this new law bill that they passed, like a 200,000, like a 2,000 some odd page, over 2,000 page bill, where they passed a law where the United States can go anywhere in the world and get it's like, but other countries can do that. Oh, plus Facebook and all the other guys, they have immunity because of it's like.
Pardon me. Sorry, guys. It's been a long week, and we're only at Wednesday. Well, that's the whole thing. Every time they pass one of these bills, there is a massive amount of shit hidden in them. There always is. Always, always, always. A shitload of stuff hidden in those bills. And when they're 2,000 pages long, and this bill that was just passed the other day was 2,322 pages long. No one can. Well, no, they only had 24 hours to. So I mean, it's not possible. I mean, if you were a congressman, you could have said, okay, I'm going to get 20 interns, give you each guys 100 pages. Go read it for me, highlight anything that you think jumps out, and then bring me the short form, and I'll read that. But I mean, how many of them actually did that? None of them. I guarantee none of them did. So they voted on a bill. And the Senate was the same thing. The Senate had 24 hours. They voted on a bill. They did not know what was in it. They did not know what was in it. And, of course, there's hidden clauses. There's always fucking hidden clauses in these bills. Always. A searchable PDF has been highlighting parts on Twitter. Yeah. I heard about that, Deb. Yep. Yeah, buried in paperwork. Literally buried in paperwork. Yeah, fuck it. I'm seriously, like, it's just fucking crazy insane at the moment. It's just completely fucking crazy insane. And
if you can't read it, you shouldn't be passing it. Like,
no,
that's the way I look at it.
absolutely. And I'm sorry, but it's, if I was American and I wanted to be a shit disturber, I would be, forming petitions to your congressmen, individual congressmen and senators, and saying, did you read the bill? You just signed on the behalf of, apparently on our behalf. So did you read that bill? And I don't know, file a lawsuit at them. Look, America, you guys sue everyone for everything. So file a lawsuit at them, say, you didn't do your homework. Go to the corner. You've got detention for the next 6 months. In Gitmo. No, I know they don't read those personal petitions. I know. Actually, you'd be surprised. Some of them do. Some of them do. And I mean, I know, like I said, I know for a fact that if you can get enough weight behind shit, you can change shit. And you can put the pressure on them. It's not a dead end street. It can be done. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I had a crazy fucking insane week this week. And I want to talk about what happened on Monday. And energetically, whatever you want to call it, on Monday, what was my late afternoon, mid-morning in the US, I literally got just slammed sideways. And I went from having this being absolutely happy-go-lucky, I was in such a good mood, yeah, let's get this shit done, yeah, we're doing all this, to being miserable. Absolutely miserable. Miserable, angry, bitchy, snippy. I yelled at all the kids. I was just literally a complete bitch. And I knew I was doing it at the time, and I couldn't stop myself. Like, it didn't matter what you kept saying, wow, you're just being so nasty. What? Just stop. The words just kept coming out, and they were like, the tone of voice was just horrible. And that's why I put a post up on Facebook joking and saying, yeah, that's it. I think I'm going to just have to go put myself in a timeout in my room for the rest of the night, because I'm far too much of a bitch to be around any other human beings right now. Like, I literally need to go be put in a closet somewhere. And I just kind of walked away. Like, I put that post up and I kind of walked away, and I went and I just sat and watched a movie real quietly and then went to bed. Next morning I got up. I still wasn't feeling quite with it. There was like a heavy sadness, like a whole lot of heavy sadness. None of this is for any reason. Like, no trigger, no, my goldfish died, therefore I'm sad. No, I mean, like, there was literally no trigger for any of the emotions that I was feeling. And my one little dude, he got up and he was really not holding it together very well Tuesday morning. But by about mid-late morning, it seemed like it all cleared away. Everything was just fine again. And it was just, as fast as it came in, it was fucking gone. Now, I just assumed it was myself. Like, you just kind of go, it's just me. Except that the amount of messages I got. So first of all, on my post on my wall about putting myself in my closet in timeout, the amount of posts that I had from people who were like, oh my God, me too. Oh my God, what the fuck is going on? I got multiple private messages. Like, open up my Facebook the next day and my messenger was like, people messaging me saying, I don't know what happened. I had the same thing around the same time. All of a sudden, and it was like, either they were horrifically depressed, sad, like just bottom of a pit, so sad, depressed, my life is worthless, everything is the shits, to, what, Groot? You scared the dog, Nick. Oh, and he's telling you off now. Ooh, does he scare you? Yeah, apparently. Or really angry, really frustrated, angry, bitter. Bitter. That's a good word for it. Being really bitter. And again, no reason for it. I got contacted from several people who I highly respect for their ability to kind of look at. They comprehend the energetic shit. They comprehend the frequency stuff. Like these are really with it people who contacted me and went, something happened. I don't know what. Something happened. And they couldn't explain it. Some people talked about, like some people said, like they literally saw shit coming in. Some people just got knocked out. That was the other thing. I just got to talk to a couple of people today, and like they just got knocked out, and they got knocked out at like 6 o'clock at night, European time, so like around my time this happened, and slept like for like 12 hours, just completely got knocked out for the whole thing. Yeah, and John got knocked awake, or John couldn't sleep. It was a really strange week. On top of that, I mean, it's been all week, there's been this, I don't know about anyone else, I want to hear from you guys. I have lost all sense of rational time. In that I can sit there and I still have that gut, like you wake up in the morning and go, oh, okay, it's about 7:30. And I can get up and look and go, yep, sure enough, it's like at 7:30. But actual sense of time in the passing of time, I have lost. I literally, our homeschool group's talking and they're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. So we're all meeting up at the gardens for the Easter egg hunt on Saturday. And I'm like, it's Easter? What? And I literally, as I'm typing and going, what? I look at my date and I'm like, it was this morning. I was like, it's the 28th. How is it the 28th? It can't possibly be the fucking 28th. It's like the 21st. I can account for every day from the 21st till now. And yet if you'd asked me this morning what date it was, I would have said it was like the 21st, 22nd. I had no concept it was Easter this weekend already. Like it's April 1st this weekend. And I'm like,
Hey, you're not the only one, Danny. I am horrible at time. It has been a real problem for me. Maurice is on my ass about it because, I mean, and granted, I'm running a business, so I have to like
schedule meetings and
it's challenging as hell for me.
Well, like I said, my relative internal clock. So our time zone changed. We did that fucking daylight saving flip last weekend. So you're still kind of slightly off. Like with dinner, you're like, okay, well, the clock says it's dinner time, but I'm not hungry. And then you're like, okay, well, it's because it's technically an hour. My body's still an hour earlier than what the clock is saying, so that's why I'm not hungry. It's like I say, it's not even the daily time. Like I can still pretty much say, okay, well, it's 4 o'clock. It's got to be around 4 o'clock and be pretty accurate. It's the meaning of time. Literally, like I'm sitting here going, it's April. I don't fucking have any idea where March went to. I honestly, it's like, where the fuck did March go to? But different than before. Like it was like in the summer we were talking about time was speeding. And we were talking about the fact that it was like the days were speeding by and we're saying, like, holy shit, it feels like the day is only 14 hours long now instead of 24. And you'd sit down to go do something, and next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, it's already noon. Shit, I have no idea. This is different. It's like the days feel like they're the normal length of time, I feel. Like they don't seem like they're specifically super fast like they were this summer. Yeah, and it does. I have to admit, Sonia, you're right. It kind of does feel like it stops and starts sometimes. But it's like chunks of time. Like I said, I literally could not believe that it was Easter this weekend. No freaking clue. No freaking clue how that happened. And even the kids, I'm getting, like, my 8-year-old who doesn't read, he's funnily enough, he has no concept of time, and he refuses to learn time. Even though he's been taught how to tell the time, and I don't just mean tell the time as in like it's 10:45 right now. I mean tell even days of the weeks, months, years. Minutes, hours, seconds. He has literally no concept of time. And he's been walking around going to me, I can't tell you how many times this week, 9 o'clock in the morning going, Mommy, didn't you make us lunch yet? And I'm like, baby, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. You had breakfast 15 minutes ago. Oh, but isn't it lunchtime? Like, really confused, like, but isn't it lunchtime now? And I'm like, no, baby, it's still morning. Like, or he turned around today at, like, I'm getting ready for dinner, and he looks and goes, so, Mommy, are you going to make me lunch? I'm like, baby, you had lunch 5 hours ago. I did? Yeah, you did. I'm sure that was just a little while ago. And I'm like, oh. Time is fucked. That's all I have to say about that. And what feels to be fucked in a different way than it was 6 months ago. Does that make sense?
Okay. For me, I thought Easter was last weekend. That's what I was feeling. Like, I'm like, did we miss Easter? I mean, that's how I felt. I'm like, the kids, we didn't have a family get-together. I'm like, should we have had a family get-together for Easter and dinner and all that? Like, because last week, I remember them talking about Palm Sunday on the radio and on the news or something like that. I remember hearing something about the Pope, and it's like, okay, Easter's this weekend. Like I thought was last weekend. So I was like, okay, Easter's this weekend. And no one came. I didn't hear anything. Oh, yeah. So the Ten Commandments. Okay, so now in the King James Bible, instead of saying tablets, it says now Moses brought down 2 tables. I'm like, okay, that's weird.
Well, I'll have to go look that one up. That's just bizarre. There's like that. Yeah, that's just bizarre.
Yeah.
You know what? The kids are really going through some interesting things, and the animals. My group today, he almost made me cry today. He was literally in his seat here beside me, crying, in this high-pitched noise, like whimpering. And I'm a typical medic, right? I'm like searching everywhere. Like, does he have a splinter? Does he have something in his foot? Is he sick? And I'm nothing wrong with him. At least 5 out of the last 10 days, he hasn't eaten his breakfast, or he's eaten like just a bit of it, and he's just been like off his food. Today, he was literally, and we always talk about us falling sideways, and we're like, oh my God, he was doing that today. I actually watched the dog literally start listing to the side, and he was just all over us, and it was all afternoon, and then about 5, 6 o'clock, about 5, 6 o'clock, he sort of snapped out of it, and he was been much better. But the kids,
Danny, how are his bowel movements?
fine, totally fine. Like, one of the first things I go check, I go up the roof and go check the poop pile and see what's going on. No worms, no diarrhea. Everything's normal. Everything's normal. He's hydrated. His nose is wet. He's got his eyes are fine. His skin temperature is fine.
Are you giving him that C60?
No, not right now. I haven't started yet, but Nick and I have actually talked about it too. Nick and I have talked we're going to definitely start that with him.
I started doing it topically too on Roscoe's spine.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just sinks right in.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But speaking for personal weirdness, last week when I went in for my for that exploratory surgery in a lot, they put the needle in to, like, because they wanted me awake at one point, but then they were gonna knock me out for the rest of it. So, but I'm also in pain at the same time, right? Because of my back being sore. Now, I don't know if that canceled it out or whatever, but it shouldn't have, right? To knock me out. But it did not go up my arm. It, like, more or less stayed in my hand. The feeling of, like, the burning sensation. And they were like, wow, he should have been under. Like he should have been under. Like, and they went through it. It was a bit sore, but I was like, it was the weirdest thing in surgery for me, because it's like, okay, I know I'm supposed to be asleep at a certain point, but I'm not asleep. It was weird.
Did we just lose Dawn? Like, we just lost Dawn. I think Dawn just poofed up in the smoke. Doesn't matter how much water I drink, I'm continuously thirsty. Now, I also know that I'm not drinking enough water. Like, I do know my own self, like, I have not been hydrating enough. Okay, Chris, that's exactly it. During the day, it's not so bad. It's at nighttime where all of a sudden I'm so desperately thirsty. I drink like fucking 2 pints of water. And of course, you got to get up and then pee 3 times in the middle of the night because you've just drank like 1.5 liters of water. So, yeah, driving me nuts. It's been really, really strange. The kids have been, especially when you look at the little ones, you can see that there's definitely something going on. And they're really being affected in interesting ways. And my little barometer is he's really, really accurate. I just have to watch him to know when stuff's going sideways. What does my t-shirt say? My t-shirt says, hold on, says, bitch, please, I ride a unicorn.
Jenny? Sorry for butting in. I usually don't butt in, but talking about time, leaving aside that I felt in December and I jumped straight into April this morning. That's different talk. Last night, I was watching a video, one of our kind of, our stuff kind of video. It was about a 2.5 hour long vid. I kind of, sideways glanced at the time because I knew it was quite late, so, I should. It was about just past 2 a.m. I let the video run. I doze off like a proper old lady. Kind of. I wake up. The same video was still running. The same guy was still talking. I look at the time. It was 4:44 a.m. The whole video was only 2.5 hours. It doesn't.
Did it just restart and start playing all over again?
No, it wasn't on loop. It should have gone to the next whatever. I have autoplay on YouTube, so it should have gone off to the next fuckery. No, it was the same video. Guys were still talking. The thing was not. It was towards the end, but not over. But according to the computer clock, I slept for over 2 hours, which is the entire length of the fucking video, and I fell asleep
halfway through it.
Yeah, halfway through it. So which way you look at it, it doesn't.
Tee-hee-hee.
Yeah, tee-hee-hee, yes. And by the way, I do doze off sometimes when I watch stuff late at night, but not.
Or in the middle of shows?
Like in the middle of the show. No, I don't. Never.
I'm allowed to tease you if I want. Shut up. It only happened just that once, and it's okay. I muted you when I realized you were asleep. Yeah, did you pause while you were in your sleep? This is Stephanie. Did you hit pause while you were sleeping? Just like with, like your fingers go, like, I don't know. No, I mean, listen.
Can I sleep dog walking?
We've, sleep dog walking. My youngest daughter went and took the dog for a walk yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday morning. She has no recollection of getting up and taking the dog for a walk, and she insisted that she didn't take the dog in the morning. And we're like, you got up and you took the dog for his morning pee. She was like, no, I didn't. We're like, yeah, you did. We watched you do it. She was like, I did not. And you just sleptwalked the whole way, but you did do it. Yeah. So, yeah, guys. It's all fucking wackadoodle. That's all I have to say. It's just all fucking wackadoodle. It's my new word. I'm just going to say it's all fucking wackadoodle. Dawn's just nodding her head going, yeah, I agree. Dawn is multitasking. She's getting her work done while she's listening in.
Cooking. Yeah, it's shocking, I know.
You're actually cooking food. Ooh.
Yeah. This is what I do here because I'm not a very good cook like you. So I get these dealies that tell me how to make stuff. So I'm making this. Hold on.
What is it? Pan roasted chicken with Brussels sprouts. Okay, I could do it without the Brussels sprouts.
See all that?
I don't do Brussels sprouts.
And then it tells me how to make it. It tells me everything to do. Hold on, y'all. My washer quit working today. Give me a second.
Okay. No, I don't do the little brains, man. No way. No way. Brussels sprouts are just the most disgusting thing on the face of the planet. I don't know how anyone can eat those. Although I did see something was so evil, and I used to repost the picture like every Christmas. At Christmas time you get those chocolates, the Ferrero Rocher, and they're perfectly round and they're wrapped in like a gold foil. And this mom like literally bought a box of them, ate all the chocolates, and then wrapped up cooked Brussels sprouts in the foil and then put them under the Christmas tree. So that the kids open them up and it's fucking Brussels sprouts. That's the kind of shit I do to my family.
Okay. No, Brussels sprouts.
But not with Brussels sprouts, because I wouldn't do that to my kids.
She's not that evil.
I'm not that evil.
The one that I don't like really is cauliflower.
Yes.
See,
I don't like
love cauliflower. I love cauliflower. I have cauliflower almost every night.
Here's a weird thing with my top of my thumbs here. They feel now shorter and they bend weirdly. And I noticed that last night. I was like, wait, these are weird. Like either the night before or last night. Plus last night, I'm lying in bed. All of a sudden, I feel this sharp, I'm turning over because my back's hurting me, right? All of a sudden, I feel my hip hurting me. I feel this pain come around, up through my hip, down into my groin area. And I'm like,
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
showed up.
that's not normal. That should not be happening. So yeah, weird stuff is happening.
Yeah.
Plus, last night I also felt like I was about to leave my body. Like I was getting like this feeling, like I was like going through a Stargate, something. I don't know. It was.
There you go. Maybe you were going to a Stargate. You never know. God knows I had some weird shit happen this week, so I'm not going to say no. and John, I agree with you. Brussels sprouts, slingshot fuel. They are perfectly made for a slingshot.
I think we rotten orange bites we found in Australia.
Yeah, those were fun. Nothing like having a rotten orange fight in an orchard.
The orchard is just
you guys, cauliflower, it's all in how you cook it. I mean, I love just plain steamed cauliflower with some butter on it, and I'm happy as anything. But I make like roast cauliflower and potatoes and onions and garlic in a cream cheese sauce.
That's good.
That everyone, even Nick, who detests cauliflower, even he'll eat it.
See, I can eat it like that, okay? But to eat it by itself is like,
Fred, I just keep telling you, if you get here, I'll cook for you. The offer is open. I keep telling you. Yeah, see, I love cauliflower and broccoli and all that stuff. We eat cauliflower and broccoli almost every night in our house. Almost every single night.
It's not this can, at least.
Yeah. And right now, it's like the season. Like winter is the cauliflower broccoli season. So I bought a head of cauliflower today that is literally almost twice the size of my head. And it was €1. Fresh out of the field that morning. So it's the one thing I like. I love living in a country where they grow food in the winter. That's the one thing I don't miss about Canada.
Fruit here is very limited in the winter.
Yeah, well, apples and oranges.
oh, I just thought you could have a rotten orange fight on orange snow. It would work all together.
Yeah, no, because if you have the orange snow, you don't have the orange orchard. Sorry, it's not gonna work.
Hey, Danny, I have a question.
Yeah.
If it says for me to put the squash and the Brussels sprouts onto a baking sheet and then roast until it's softened, about 15 minutes, what does that mean, roast? What would the temperature be?
About 350 for you, love.
Okay, thanks.
Your altitude, yeah, like 350. And if you cover them, they'll be softer and they'll cook a little. It'll be softer. If you keep them uncovered, they'll be more a little bit browned on the outside. So it depends on what the rest of the recipe is.
Okay, thank you for that.
No problem, sweetie.
Thank you.
Cooking with Danny show. That's right, Cooking with Danny show.
I know, that was so cute. That woman can heal people. She can whip shit with all the endocannabinoid system. She has no idea how to fucking roast a fucking Brussels sprout. I love you, Dawn. That's adorable.
All her time and energy goes to the healing shit. She doesn't have time to learn this cooking crap.
Y'all got to remember, I used to be a swimmer. I was a swimmer growing up. So I was in I swam high school, I swam college, and I made Olympic trials when I was like 16. So I'm like, my whole life was swimming, and I was always on the run. You know, I'd get up in the morning, go to work out, go to school, come home, get dressed for workout again, come home, eat, do my homework, and go to sleep. So I didn't learn any of this.
Yep.
I didn't even learn to wash clothes until I went off to school.
You went off to college, and all of a sudden we're like, oh shit, Mom, you should have taught me that washing machine trick. I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, but you should see her now with the washing machine. Let me tell you, it's a real deal over there.
I know. I was just looking at my washing machine, 6 years old, and I've only had it serviced once. And I must wash between 3 to 5 loads a day.
Holy shit.
Crap.
What?
Because I got animals, so I'm washing everything. I have a huge wash.
God, woman.
I'm the washing queen.
Oh my God, woman. Can you come here and do my laundry for me? Because it's the one thing I just fucking hate doing. It bores me. I just fucking so like, and I don't have. You have to understand. In Europe, they have European machines. Dawn, I would give my left arm for a North American fucking washing machine.
Mm-hmm.
They have these fucking stupid little front loaders that you can put 4 pairs of jeans and a towel in, and that's fucking it. And I have a big one. Like the one that I have is a 7 kilo capacity machine, which is technically kind of like a regular, relatively big one. Yeah. I literally, how many times I've been like, I need to like order a Canadian fucking washing machine in. One of the big heavy duty bastards that you can put like 20 pairs of jeans and a set of beach towels in.
Yeah. I'm going to show you mine really quick. Hold on. Okay. I don't know if you can see. Here, I'm going to turn the camera. Hold on.
And she's frozen because she's in a cupboard.
You can see how quite large it is. It's got a blanket in there right now, so.
We can't see anything, love. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yep. Yeah. See, I would literally.
I remember hanging myself
hold on.
when I was younger, trying to reach into those.
and
to
you
get
could
all the
reach
clothes out,
and
and
you
I
could
couldn't reach, so I had to jump up on it. I'd like bash my stomach.
And here's your control panel. So
seriously high tech. If you'd see my washing machine, you would laugh. My washing machine is about probably 20 years old, and it's rusted to all hell and back, and all the controls are in Italian, and it leaks.
yeah,
And half the time,
mine's
I can't
leaking
get
now.
the spin cycle to work. So
And you get
Yeah.
to chase it across the room most of the time.
yeah, John's had to listen to many conversations. I was fuck. I gotta go chase the washing machine. It's dancing across the floor again.
Right. Yeah, I would die without a washing machine. It would not go well for me.
Yeah, no, European washing machines suck. And get this, I use the rapid wash. I had to get my friend who speaks Italian to come and translate the dial for me. I use the rapid wash. The rapid wash takes 2.5 hours.
Wow.
The full wash, like if you put I actually did. Nick had done some heavy gardening work one week, and it was rainy and mucky, so his clothes were like really gross. I was like, okay, these got to go in by themselves. I'll put it on the heavy duty. 9 hours. I shit you not. 9 hours. Because it's all energy saver and it's all water saver stuff.
What do you mean 9 hours? I never heard that. I mean, ever.
9 fucking hours. I shit you not. I'm like, okay, maybe it'll take 3 hours instead of the 2.5. Yeah, no, I didn't get them up even on the line. I hung them up on the line at like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
9 hours. What year is it? It's an ancient year, Blair. It's an ancient year. Yeah, well, this thing, you guys, look, this is European washing machines. Like, they're all energy saver, water saver, the rest of it. They do shit job. At least the one I have does a real crap job. So.
Whoa, don't disinform the American audience. A normal, regular European washing machine takes 45 minutes, more or less, on the so-called rapid wash, and about 2 hours, on the normal cycle.
Okay, well, I've never had one of those, Brianna. I've never had one. So.
Yours is the machine from hell. It's Italian. It's probably made in the basement of the Vatican.
It's where they launder their money. Oops, did I say that out loud?
Hey, Danny, you might as well have a hire group of older women with those washboards and have them do your laundry for you.
Don't knock it. I have friends who have a bed and breakfast here. They've got a really lovely bed and breakfast here. And they were joking about that and saying, like, you get to the point some days when we got so many sheets, it's like, my buddy was like, yeah, it's called take it to the laundromat. And you just take it to the laundry ladies, and they take it and they wash it. And when they come back, like, everything is folded, pristine, like absolutely perfect. Like the sheets are like, you could like put a ruler on them. Each one is, yeah. So I'm telling you, if I had the money, I would hire them to do my laundry. I had like 8 kids over last night, and the devastation of 8 kids having a sleep out on the playroom floor, the amount of sheets and pillowcases, and they spilt drinks, and there's like chip crumbs, and there's like God knows what's on them. I'm like, oh, right, I guess that's 3 loads of laundry for tomorrow that I'm going to have to do just to get all the sheets and towels done. You guys all love the fact that I'm the sucker mom who every time, let's have a sleepover. Yeah, okay. We're going to invite 12 of our friends. Okay. They're coming for dinner. Okay. It is what it is.
Real quick, I'm glad I don't have all those clothes to wash. I'm one person, I don't have no wife, no family, and that is like, I don't like washing clothes anymore. That's like, yeah, it's like my motivation has gone down on that. And it's like, I didn't have this problem years ago. It's like now it's like, okay, I shower or bathe, whatever. It's like, okay, in the back of your mind is like, it's been too damn long since I've washed anything. You can start to gross yourself out, obviously, but at the same time, it's like, as long as you don't
follow the Bachelor rule. Like you underwear, you wear them front ways, you wear them backwards, you turn them inside out front, inside out back, and you got 4 days out of your underwear. That's
I
bachelor
don't even
rule.
do that. I don't turn anything out inside out and wear it. I might have did that years ago. It's like it still has that smell to it though.
Yeah, I know. I'm just taking the piss, love.
I get what you mean, Danny. So yeah. And the rust Now that's funny. How that's it's old because when everything used to be made out of metal. A lot of things used to be out of metal. Remember the old fans even from up to the 80s, like a regular fan, a box fan.
Yeah.
They've been made like shit for years. Obviously, a throwaway society.
Don't even get me started because our toaster died last week.
It's true.
It was a brand spanking new toaster when we moved in. I'm kind of happy because it was a cheap shit ass toaster, and only does 2 slices of toast. And when you have 4 kids, yeah. So, but literally, I've got a friend of mine who has gone through. She's been here a year and a half. She's been through 4 blenders. Now she is like the juicing smoothie queen. Like she does a green smoothie every day, and she does a whole thing on Facebook where every day she does smoothies, and she does a whole what's in her smoothie today and why, and does all these great links and the rest of it. She's been through 4 blenders. My mother had the same blender that she was given as a shower gift when she got married. She gave it to me, and I gave it when I left Canada. I gave it away to another friend of mine who probably still has it. I just bought 2 new blenders. I bought 2 brand spanking new blenders. John, you'll remember this conversation. I bought 2 new blenders because I'd broken my blender that I used for making all my product. And I had 2 blenders. I bought them. Fucking don't work. They're a piece of shit. I had to make the rose velvet cream on the weekend for Dawn, and literally the blenders, I was like, oh my god, like they're a piece of crap. They're not turning the cream, and I literally ended up hand whipping the cream because the blenders sucked so badly. And these were not like Canadian Tire $15.99 specials. They were 44 euros each. Not expensive, but they certainly weren't like fucking Walmart. Nothing lasts. Same thing. Fans, we've got, like you said about fans.
My fans still work, I hope.
Our fans work, but they just, like you said, we used to have an old fan that was one of those big ass metal ones. But those things, okay, they roared like a turbo engine. It really did. But man, did that thing ever work? Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm done. I'm just done. Like Nick and I had a huge rant about this about a week ago. And it comes down to that whole, I'm sorry, but it comes down to the whole climate change bullshit, right? When you start taking it apart and they talk about things like, oh, well, people use too much and it's the CO2 and their carbon footprint and all the rest of it. It's like, but we have been forced into this place as a society where we have no choice but to be a buyer society. When you have to replace a toaster every 6 months, every year, where you have to replace your kettle because it doesn't work, and then your fan dies, and your computer fucking goes to hell. I mean, literally a month after the warranty's done, your laptop is just done. We have been forced into a society where you don't have a fucking choice. It's not like you can go out and buy a good quality item anymore. Even I had a friend of mine who was given like a $500 KitchenAid mixing set, and it's one of those ones that it's got like the blender on it, and it's got the big dough hook in it with the big mixing bowl, and it does all these things. It was $500, and it died literally 2 months after her warranty. Now, my girlfriend here is still using her mother's KitchenAid, which is the exact same basic thing that her mother got as a wedding gift 54 years ago. And she's still using it. He had to take it in for a tune-up.
I'm gonna gift you a blender because I have a hookup on blenders. So
Oh, really?
That's gonna be my gift to you. Yeah.
Oh man, I love you, sweetie, but I mean that would be wicked expensive if you're gonna ship me one, like seriously wicked expensive.
Not really. Not really. I have one of my best friends owns his own shipping company. I think you forget that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. You have your Dawn is the queen of the hookups. She's got a guy for everything.
You can just buy it where you live.
But I got a place to get it, but I'll go over it with you. Anyway, yeah. That's the only reason I can help people international is because of this man.
It's because you got a shipper who can. Yeah, I know. It makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Find out if he has any shippers Filipinos that come out of Malta.
Johnny B.
I didn't
my headset is a Logitech G33. It's really great. This is the longest I've had a headset without it breaking on me. You know.
He hits me up on Friday.
Okay, but Johnny, and that's just it, right? Why is Germany so famous for products? Because they're known to last. German shit. Some of the best knives in the world, Henkel's out of Germany. They're top quality. You know what? You get top quality bits and pieces. Hold on, I'm just gonna. There we go. Sorry, I had to mute Dawn. Sorry, Dawn, I just muted you, darling. It's okay. Yeah, and that is one of the first things that Hitler did to bring Germany back into prominence. Is that he brought back skilled craftsmen. It became a thing, like a skilled craftsman. And at the time, Germany had the best of the best of the best during World War II. Like, they had some of the best in the automotive. Oh, and they still do. But that was one of the things that they did. And now we live in a society where you don't have a choice. Like, you are stuck with absolute shit. I bought, granted, it wasn't expensive, but I bought like a pot, a little saucepan. And it's like a stainless steel with enamel, little enameled on the inside. And I bought it literally for making sauces in. It got dropped on the floor. I'd had it maybe 4 weeks. And a chip right out of the inside and the bottom of it, a chip of the enamel just went. And it was like, holy shit. Like, this is a brand spank. It's a pan. How can you fuck up a pan? Really? We're not talking about moving parts here. Like, really? Yep. And that's the problem. So we've become a throwaway society, but we have been forced into this role of becoming a throwaway society. And unless you know what you're looking at, Maury, if I have all my cast iron frying pans, all my cast iron pans are still in storage in Canada. And I keep joking that one of these days I'll have like the $500 it's going to cost to get our last kind of crate of shit shipped over.
Our Lego.
Never mind your Lego. You got enough Lego. I want my cast iron pans because I have a skillet that is so big, that deep, that big around that Nick has to take off the stove. I can't when it's filled, when I've cooked in it, I can't lift it up. It's like old cast iron. Old fucking cast iron. Yeah, and that's the thing. Shipping right now is so unbelievably expensive. That's why we keep pricing it out and keep going, okay, can we come up with the money? We'll come up with the money. We'll get all the last bits of stuff shipped. Yeah. Yeah, same thing with clothing. Clothing is crap. Clothing is made of crap. And that's why I have joked, I am the queen of the op shop. I am the queen of thrift stores. And I have been my entire life. And when I lived in Canada, if I needed a blender, I went out to the fucking secondhand store and I looked for a 1970s Oster blender with a glass jug, and that's what I would buy. And you'd pick one up for $5-6. When I needed pots and pans, I used to go to the secondhand shops and buy old fucking pots and pans. If you wanted jeans, go to the secondhand shop, buy old jeans. T-shirts, things like that. Yep. Good sheets, Holy shit. I was literally, I don't care how ugly they were. You got a Lagostina for $5? Nice. Sheets, yeah, I used to have the ugliest sheets ever, but they were like 1970s flannel. And you can't even buy that shit anymore. It is not fucking possible to buy that quality anymore. I used to buy them up. I didn't care. I used to turn them into clothes for the babies. When my kids were babies, I used to make them little sleep sacks. I'd go buy really old 1960s and 70s sheets and then cut them out and make them into sleep sacks for the babies. Oh, listen, I mean, that's... Deb, I have a girlfriend of mine in Canada. Granted, she is a hoarder. I can fully admit she is a serious fucking hoarder. She had, the last time I talked to her, she had 5 cast iron Singer sewing machines. She found every one of them in the garbage. Just going out and seeing someone's, like, grandma's throwing them out, whatever. And she would, and she got to the point where she was good. She had played with them enough that she could actually kind of refurbish them herself. And her whole dream was she wanted to do costuming. She had a dream that she really, really loved costuming, and she was very, very good at it. And that she wanted to get to a point where she could set up a sew room with all these antique machines because they fucking work. They just work. And she had one that was her, that she started it all off with. Her collection was her great-grandmother's. It was a treadle machine. And I can remember one day her joking, it was just before, the week before Halloween, and there was a blackout. And I'm like, I'm halfway through my costume. And she says, I can still going. I got candles, and I got the treadle machine out, and I can just keep sewing. I don't need no damn electricity. And she still uses it to this day. She still uses the same machine. Because they last, and they were built to last. How many of us, our parents, our grandparents, or even some of us who are older, you bought a car in the 70s, you bought a car in the early 70s, in the mid 70s, you expected you were going to have that car for 10 years. At least 10 years. Like, I can remember my uncle buying a pickup truck, and him buying, I was real little at the time, and I can remember him bringing this really big ass 1-ton truck home, and him saying, no, I spent all this money on it because this baby's going to last me 20 years at least. I'll be 20 years before I have to buy another vehicle again. Even think about it. Fucking cars nowadays, like two fucking years, and they're like a piece of crap. They're falling apart. Yeah, but Betty is a different quality of car, though, right? Yeah. So, yep. I know.
I was going to say real quick, yeah, it's like what you just said, Danny. It's like I like stuff that's built like a tank, kind of, that figure of speech. I like a car, a vehicle that's just, when it gets hit by something, maybe
does it crumple?
Yeah, it doesn't crumble. It's like, hey, fuck you. I'm built like a tank. It's like, what are you? It's like making a joke out of it. It's like, yeah, it's like, hey, what are you? A fiddly Volkswagen? Oh no, you're a big truck, and you just got crumpled by my tank, by my boat.
It's a joke here because it's not as bad. It's not so much now. Because it's, again, like everything else, becomes so highly westernized that, yeah, the 72 Mercedes D, yeah, they are tanks. But Gozo was a place where cars were fixed until they were literally unfixable. And when I lived here even 20 years ago, half the cars on the road, at least half the cars on the road, were at least 20, if not 30 years old. And it was a country where you could come into Gozo and you'd see like a 1969 Volkswagen Beetle. Oh yeah, still running. Minis, Austin Minis. Oh my God, one of the first cars we had was a 1970 Austin Mini. This was in 1994.
An Austin Mini.
An Austin Mini. Car. Not the Mini Cooper. An Austin Mini, and they don't even that's exactly how old these are. They didn't even make them after about 1971, 72.
Yeah, you struck me funny on that one. I don't think I've heard of an Austin Mini. It sounds kind of funny to me.
It was hysterical. It was It was originally like probably supposed to have been like a deep forest green or a British racing green, but it hadn't been painted since the 70s, so it had no shine left. Like, do you know what I mean? Like when it's like literally just like completely matte, and all the acoustical lining on the inside had all been ripped out, so it literally sounded like you were in a tank when you drove it, and we used to call it Sherman. It was green and it sounded like a tank, so it was called Sherman.
I guess at least it was some kind of green, like dark, or like you said, forest green, like that. Because I'll take that over something like yellow. I don't like yellow cars at all, except maybe a Mustang, like maybe an old Mustang, maybe.
Lamborghinis can be yellow. As far as I'm concerned, the only car that's allowed to be yellow is a Lamborghini.
Good point.
That's just me, and I've got warped sense of reality.
I like that, though. What you just said, the Lamborghini, because I was too busy thinking about something more domestic. But Lamborghinis, oh my gosh, just made me think of something like a Ferrari, too. Can't believe I used to watch Miami Vice, the Ferrari thing, and the Lamborghinis and other shows. Miami fucking Vice, I was glued to that show too damn much.
Well, you know what? I have a funny joke, a funny story. It's all about perception, right? Hold on, just give me a second. I got to roll my cigarette first. So, when I was 14, I went to England to visit my family in England for the first time. And we took a family bus trip. They rented 2 big coach buses. I have a huge family in England, like 450, 500 people, and that's only like to first cousins. So we rented this coach, and we're driving down the road, and we're pretty good highway drive in England. So you're lots and lots of cars, etc. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a Rolls Royce. Oh my God, there's a Jag. Oh my God, there's a Ferrari. And my cousins were all like, yeah, whatever. And then all of a sudden, all my boy cousins were all like glued to the side of the bus going, oh, and they're all like, what? And I'm like, what is it? And they're all like, oh, it's a Trans Am. Because it's a North American car. They don't have them in England. Right? And it's the whole perception. I'm like, it's a fucking Firebird. Seriously? Every Gino in my fucking school drives one of those. Really? I'm like, yeah. I went to a predominantly Italian high school. And I was like, my entire parking lot of my school is filled with Trans Ams and Firebirds. Seriously. But perception, right? They don't see, in Canada, you don't see the Rolls Royces, you don't see fucking Jags, you don't see Ferraris. England, yeah, whatever, but give them a North American sports car? Oh. See, it's all about perception, just like everything else. And Fieros. Yep, Stephanie, and Fieros. Trans Ams, Firebirds, and fucking Fieros. Oh, man. Yeah, the Italian muscle car. The Gino cars. Yeah. The joys of going to an Italian high school. I lived in Little Italy in Toronto. Yep. Used to go eat at my favorite delicatessen diner was run by the mafia in Toronto. Of course, I didn't know about that at the time. It wasn't until I was about 18 where I started to put 2 and 2 together. I was like, Dad, are we those guys behind the cashier with the odd-looking lumps under their overcoats standing there? And my dad was like, yeah. It's run by I can't remember the name of the family. Started with a C. It's like one of the big main central areas of the mafia. Oh, yeah, Maury, listen, when I grew up, I had my 3 best friends. One was Italian, one was Greek, and one was from Guyana. And we all lived within 2 blocks of each other. Literally, it formed almost a perfect square. And it was every day, it would be like, what's your mom making for dinner? And it'd be like, Dimitra's mom was making like souvlaki and something else. It'd be like, hi, we're all going to Dee's house for dinner tonight. And then, the next night it'd be like, what's your mom? And then my girl from Guyana, Mrs. Singh is making curried pork tonight, so we're going to her house for dinner. So we never ate at home. It was always the 4 of us just traveling between the parents' house. Oh, you guys are funny. Everyone's talking about the cars now. Tee hee 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 hee.
Hey, Danny. Last week I was looking through Mandela Effect videos. Either the week before that, but apparently in the 16 somethings they had wooden submarines.
How would that work?
That's why I asked myself. I'm like, how would that work?
Well, okay, I know that Leonardo da Vinci drew a drawing, like he did plans, like he had plans for helicopters and submarines and airplanes and all kinds of stuff, but I don't think he actually made them.
No,
But who knows?
this was another part of Europe that a guy made 3. He made a small one, a medium-sized one, and a bigger one. He used leather, like for like where the oars were.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's in a, like, there's even a wiki on it and all that.
Yeah, I've never heard of anything like that. That's a little early. But then you know what? I'm sorry, but all of our history is a fucking lie. So it's all a fucking lie. Maybe it's bleeding through. It's finally bleeding through everywhere. Yeah, the hieroglyph of the helicopter. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but I've seen that hieroglyph, and you can't call it anything but a fucking helicopter.
Yes, yeah. Thank you. Excuse me. Yeah, I think. Yeah, well, you just said about gosh, what show was like for so on about those stones, those etched in stone carving. Yeah, the carvings. Yep. I was like, I remember the first time I saw that. I'm like, okay, I don't want to assume anything, but
I'm trying not to make an assumption here.
A whole lot like a fucking helicopter to me. And so I thought my brain is like, yeah, your first thought, is that it's like then after you kind of like it sits in, I guess, and it's like I remember later on, I remember thinking, well, hold it. It's like, is it because we're conditioned to seeing things in that way in symbols too, which just hit me that way too. It's like this because it looks like something. It's like
there's nothing you can put that hieroglyph to that era.
You know what I mean? Doesn't mean it is that, but I was like, I'm no gambler. I suck at gambling in general, in all forms. It's like I'm going to gamble on some that's a carving of a helicopter or some type of aerial vehicle that like what we were used to seeing.
There's not really any other explanation for that one. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, dude, I've never seen anyone come up with any kind of explanation of what that hieroglyph actually means in any rational terms of the times. Yeah. You know what? I was really, really lucky. With everyone here's talking food and stuff like that. I grew up in a small apartment building, and most of the apartments were filled by people who, back in the 70s, everyone knew everybody in this building. It was only 7 stories, but everybody knew everybody. And all of our friends were of every nationality. So, like, we had really, really good friends of our family who were East Indian. And I used to go to their place and eat curry all the time, even as a kid. And we had friends who were Hungarian, and oh my God, the food that their grandmother would make was just like, Polish friends, Russian friends. So I grew up eating all this food that was from all over the world, like eating borscht. To this day, I haven't had a bowl of proper beet borscht in like 25 years. But you grow up and you eat all this food, and you're so mixed with that culture. Like, I had saris. I had saris when I was 7 years old. And every time these friends went to India, they always came back with a new sari for me or a new Punjabi suit. So, I mean, I would wear saris. I went to several weddings I went to dressed in saris. And because they were beautiful. And, like, I think this is one of these things that I find that's missing now. And I don't know if it's just that I had a weird upbringing. Like, I don't know, was mine just that oddball to have been brought up in that kind of a multinational household? But kids these days, they don't seem to have that same, unless you travel, right? They're not. They don't seem to have this broad spectrum introduction to all these different foods, different cultures, different. Like, we had Syrian friends when I was like 12 years old who would make these incredible dishes for us, and like, so I don't know. So like I say, I don't know if it's just my perception, just because of my childhood was just completely bizarre, or is it literally that way? Because it just seems that now the kids just don't know other cultures at all.
I grew up with peanut satay sauce from Indonesia, you know?
Yep.
You know, we had Turkish friends because my dad had sheep, and we grew up the sheep, and then we sell them to the Turkish guys because they eat halal food.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and with the first thing you meet from another culture is either music or food.
Yeah.
You know, and their protocol greetings.
Yep.
First thing you learn from another language. Oh man, this Indonesian rice tables they made for us, man, it's so beautiful, man. It's fantastic. But in the army related job, my dad had army related job, so he was in Curacao, which had an oil refinery in the Caribbean.
Yep.
Which had a strategic value. So he went there to serve, I think, 2 years, and he got hosted by a family. Yeah, these people were from Indonesia, and they came back to Holland, and they had a relationship. So you know, that's how we went to see them every year with the family. We went to see Pai and Mai because they were Indonesians, and Indonesian food, Danny, it's beautiful.
Yep.
You know, it's beautiful, very rich food culture, man. You know.
This is it. Like so it's funny because Nick was brought up completely different. His family were just they lived in an area of BC which was predominantly white. There were no real, about as extravagant as the food got was his mom used to make pierogies or petaha, depending on where you're from. But he doesn't like all these tastes of because he didn't grow up with these tastes. He doesn't like a lot of these flavors because he never had that experience in growing up. Unfortunately,
I have that here with my English friends. They eat so bland. You know, it's so bland. English food is, oh my God, there's nothing in there. It's just salt. You know?
Yeah, my mom,
vegetables,
my mother's a typical British cook.
Oh my God. And then they put this gravy out of a packet, and it's just like putting a spoon of salt all over your food, and it rapes your dish. You don't taste nothing but salt anymore. It's bad. Oh my God.
Deb, listen, when I first met Nick, I had just come back from Thailand, and I started introducing him to Thai food, and I like spicy food. Like, I grew up the same thing. I had a really good buddy I worked with who was Mexican, and we'd go over to his mom's place, and she would make these amazing dishes. I ate Indian curries, like hot fucking Indian curries as a child, and I lived in Thailand for a couple of years. So, yeah, the first I was like, Nick's got no palate for spice. Spicy was pepper. Putting pepper on his food was what made it spicy. And I made him like a pad thai, and I made it so calm. I mean, I made what I called pediatric pad thai. I had a whole thing of fish oil over to the side, just filled with Thai chili peppers cut up in it to pour all over mine. And he was like, "Oh, it's too hot." I was like, "Seriously? If there was one chili pepper minced up into like this in it. But yeah, I occasionally do things a little too spicy for Nick. Even still to this day, 20 years later, I still will occasionally heat things up a little bit too much. No, he can't do Frank's hot sauce.
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick. You mentioned hot stuff. Like the pepper thing. You just mentioned the peppers. Like yeah. I know there were things that are good at flushing out your sinuses and stuff, which is what I needed a while back. Something fucking hit me a while back. Probably some of you too. But my head got really congested for like 2 fucking days, and I was like, I had sneezing fits. I sneeze sometimes anyway, but when you start sneezing 4 to 5 times, kind of broken up, and you're constantly having to clear your sinuses, one nose nostril all the time. Like, yeah, you need a quick reminder, even for 2 days. Like, I'm not, you're not so vulnerable you're not so invincible or invulnerable or anything. I mean, not that I think that, but if it pops in your head from time to time, that thought, like, I hardly get really ill. Then it happens where your head is like, oh, what the fuck is going on?
Chili peppers, baby.
I mean,
chili peppers and ginger.
I'll take the ginger, not the chili peppers. Yeah.
When I lived in Thailand, I lived with my uncle. And my uncle was married to a Thai woman. And we both woke up one morning, my uncle and I, and we both had like the sniffles. Like he obviously got a bit of a cold coming on. And I came downstairs and we're sitting out front having a coffee and a smoke. And I was like, oh, and I sneezed. And he was like, do not let Plateau see you sneeze. And I'm like, why? He goes, because if she thinks you're sick, she's going to make you eat the soup. And I was like, what? No. Does it work? And he was like, don't let her give you the soup. And of course, 15 minutes later, she comes outside and there's my uncle and I both blowing our nose and we're like sick. And she's like, right, I'll go get the maid to go get the stuff for the soup. And this soup that she makes, it's just like a bouillon cube type base, like the vegetables, the chicken soup base is just instant stuff, right? They fill it with fresh garlic, galangal ginger that's grated, and so many chilies that the soup is red. It's not tomato soup. It's that many chilies in it. And she brings it to you in a little glass, just a little glass like that, and says, drink that. And you're going like, oh, I'm afraid. And like you get it, you can't even inhale it because your nostril hairs start curling the moment the fumes get anywhere near you. She made me drink it. I'll tell you, it was liquid fire. Absolutely, like everything burned instantly. My eyes burned, my ears burned, my nose burned, my throat, all the way down to my stomach. Everything was on fire for about 5 minutes. My cold was gone like that. Like, I mean, instantly gone. And my uncle refused to drink his, and he suffered for about 5 days. And by 4 o'clock that afternoon, I was completely over it. Yep. So, chili's awesome things.
And that's fucking quick what you just said. That last part was the dark chocolate on the cake for me. I mean, yeah, the fact that you were over that quick, even though you had to go through some.
Oh yeah, the cleansing process was not pleasant. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that would have had me. I would have had to calm myself the fuck down if I was. I'd be like, chill. Fuck yeah. If I wasn't high then, I'd probably be wanting to smoke a joint then. Yeah.
Well, Sony, countries that eat, so exactly, but places like Thailand and Indonesia, places like that, where they eat not just chilies, but they eat raw chilies, and they eat chilies in and they use the whole chili, right? It's like the skin, it's the meat, it's even the seeds. They have the lowest rates of stomach and esophageal cancer in the world. It is virtually unknown for anyone in Thailand who's actually Thai and eats a Thai diet to get stomach cancer or esophageal cancer. Just doesn't happen. And the best thing that you can take, if you have someone who's got a really bad ulcer, particularly duodenal ulcers, but if you have any stomach ulcers that are really bad, cayenne pepper in capsules stops it instantaneously. And my dad has got horrific ulcers, or he had, and it was we had a little lady who had a herbal shop, and her name was, believe it or not, Mrs. Herb. I swear to God, and she actually had a picture of her driver's license up on the wall to prove that her name was actually Mrs. Herb. And she got my dad, and I'm talking, this was 40 years ago, taking capsules filled with cayenne pepper. And you take it 15 minutes before you're going to have your dinner. It hits the stomach acid and just neutralizes everything, just like, whew. And my dad now, he maybe takes a capsule once every 6 months. Like he goes out and he has something that's either too rich or something, or he hasn't taken one in a long time, and he'll start to feel the burn of one of his ulcers. Take one of those cayenne peppers, and it's gone. Like, I mean, literally, it's like a fire extinguisher. It just takes the burn right out of it. And it will, because the worst with ulcers is, of course, the more they're activated, they never heal. So the trick with an ulcer, to get the ulcer to heal, is you have to get it to stop activating. So if you start taking the cayenne pepper over the course of several months, because you're continuously neutralizing those stomach acids, it gives the ulcers a chance to finally heal. And then they're gone. Deb, I'm telling you, anyone who has ulcers, you go to any health food shop or order them online, cayenne pepper in a capsule. I'm telling you, I cannot believe how fast it works. It is literally like a fire extinguisher. Just gets sprayed right down your gullet.
Yeah, but like I said before, stomach ulcers also are stress related. So they can also be preventable neck massage, because you have pressure points here in your neck, yeah, which are directly connected with your stomach. So if you nut it up here, solve that so you don't get a stomach ulcer. Stomach ulcer are 90% a result of stress. And you can really very simply, avoid that by a massage.
Jane?
Yeah.
The tincture does not work the same. Nope. The tincture does not work the same. It has to be the dried cayenne pepper in a capsule.
Have you ever heard of Sri Lankan food, Danny?
Yep.
Sri Lankan?
Yeah.
They have, what's that stick called? You know, them brown sticks? Is it cinnamon?
The cinnamon, the bark. The cinnamon bark, yeah.
Yeah, it grows there in the wild, you know, it's like, it grows everywhere there. And I have a housemate, he's vegetarian, and he's from the he's a Tamil tiger.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me about, the Indians came there, I don't know if it's like something like 10 years ago, and they massacred these people with horrible chemical warfare. This guy has a cough, you know.
It was horrifying.
And the mainstream media just brushed it under the carpet like it never happened.
Yep.
It's disgusting what these Indians did in Sri Lanka.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tamils are the original people from that island, you know. And this guy is, I think he has PTSD. You know, he's a lovely guy, but he's coughing. He has this horrible cough, and it's just horrible what they did to these people over there. This Indian army, they sent in the army.
Yep.
And they just wiped away whole villages. Men, women, children. They wiped it off the map.
They basically did the same thing that's going on in Yemen right now. The same thing that's being done in Yemen right now, and it's being brushed under the carpet. No one pays any attention. So I put cinnamon in everything.
Yeah.
I make roast potatoes with cinnamon. Everyone kind of looks at me like I'm completely crazy when I do it, and I'm like, wait till you try it. roast potatoes, cut them up nice
What
and
is
small.
the medicinal characters of cinnamon?
Cinnamon is fucking
Then
amazing.
what-
Antibacterial, antiviral. It's anti-inflammatory. It is really amazing for boosting your immune system. I put cinnamon and turmeric in almost everything. Yeah, I'll literally cut
Yeah,
up
because
potatoes.
turmeric has the same.
Yeah. Yep.
Turmeric has the same, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like anti-inflammatory, anti-infection, stuff like that. And chili as well, you know, chili, because, you know, so that I eat hotter food, more garlic, more chili, more cinnamon, more turmeric. So even if there is some bacteria in that food, that these spices will kill it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, if you guys
I
could
just had
smell
a
my
guy
house right
today.
now, I have a massive pot of soup going in my crock pot, and I've got like a chicken backs in it because I went to the butcher and I got a whole bunch of chicken backs in there, and it's chunks of raw turmeric root, and there's a baby garlic. So it's baby garlic season right now, where we get the really young garlic, which is just phenomenal. And a shit ton of rosemary and a shit ton of fresh thyme and lemon peel, and that'll go until sometime around 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Now, well, spice exactly, John. Spices were medicine, and this is one of the fall downs that we have in modern society of the instant packaged food. Not only do they contain all the toxic, the chemicals, the preservatives, the color, the just fucking shit. They don't contain the healthy spices and stuff that are healing. Like they don't. And when they do have something, it's like the cinnamon has been so highly processed that the cinnamon is valueless. It does not have any medicinal quality anymore. So this is one of those things like we need to get back to. I've taught so many of my friends how to work with spices and herbs. And the one thing I tell everyone is start by playing. Get yourself go out and to a herb place and like buy a shit ton of stuff, even if you'd never heard of it before. And open up the package and smell it and taste it. And then start playing with it. Start to learn to play. And you learn to things like, for example, turmeric and cinnamon and basil on potatoes is one of the most phenomenal things you'll ever eat. How many people do you think about cinnamon on potatoes for a dinner dish? It's absolutely amazing. Every time I make it, people are like, what the hell? And I'm like, it's the secret ingredient is cinnamon and turmeric, right? So start playing with herbs and spices. It's not wrong, Jane. Trust me. Trust me. Toss the potatoes in a little bit of oil. Little sprinkle of cinnamon, lots of turmeric.
I'm just teasing.
Hey, Danny, I say like what you just, it's like a Mediterranean recipe, and Mediterranean food has a certain flair to it, and with different spices and vegetables and things. And so I've found that since I've started doing this, I have experienced all kinds of things on my palate that I never knew before.
Yep. And combinations, right? Like you can take a certain thing that you know the flavor of cinnamon. Everyone knows the flavor of cinnamon, right? But then you can take it and you can change it because you put the cinnamon with something else. Cinnamon and tarragon work really, really well together on pork.
And
it's the same thing. It's like I learned because I play. I'm all the time. I'm always playing. And wherever I live, I find what are the spices and herbs that are natural to the cuisine that grow there, and then I learn them. And then you start playing with combining them and putting them together and seeing what kind of comes from them and what works. And stuff obviously sometimes you go, well, okay, well that was way too much freaking time on that. Okay, next time, less time. Yeah, just play. It's the best way to learn how to cook, is to learn flavors, is just start playing with the different flavors. And things like potatoes are awesome because they're kind of a blank canvas. Cauliflower too, for the same reason. Cauliflower and potatoes are almost like a blank canvas. You can take them and you can turn them into a curry. You can turn them into a potato salad. You can turn them into a sweet dish. You can turn them into a really spicy, savory dish, all with just playing with the seasonings that you put on them.
And we don't think anything of putting cinnamon on sweet potatoes.
Oh, yeah. Sweet
What?
potatoes and cinnamon?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sweet potatoes and cinnamon?
Yum, yum.
Hey, Danny, before I forget, is there any way that you can throw in 2 more bottles of the rose lotion? Do you have any more?
I think I have just enough to do that.
Okay, so I'll need 4 little bottles and then the 2 big ones. I think that's right?
Hold on, darling. I'll have to look at the invoice.
Just do it afterwards. Just do it afterwards, but I just wanted to throw that in.
Oh, hold on. I probably have the invoice open here. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Recent documents. Dawn. Dawn is not here. Why is Dawn not here? Oh. Let me look at the invoice. I did up an invoice for you, but I can't even remember what's on the invoice. I think it was 2 large and 3 small. You're muted, darling. I can't hear you.
If there's 3, then add 1 more, because I want to give 1 to each of my sisters, and then wait, add 2 more.
Okay.
You're right. It's 2 more, because I want to give my friends here. So okay.
I will add 2 more. And they were supposed to go into the mail yesterday, Dawn. Yeah, but it's fucking Easter. I couldn't even get close to the post office today. Like, the post office is on the main street, and there's like processions. And tomorrow is the first day of the misery, as we call it here, where they have to do the processionals through all the stations of the cross.
Yeah, they do that in Israel.
It's fucking insane. So I'm like, I just basically, everyone who I've got orders going out that should have gone out today, tomorrow, I'm like, yeah, you're going to have to wait until after Easter. Because I'm not even going anywhere near that fucking village, like the main town, until after Easter. Because we went this morning for groceries to hit our veggie farmers market, and it was like insanity.
You left
insanity.
At 9:15.
And I didn't get back until 11.
I didn't get back until 11.
It was
We're
insane.
supposed to go. We're gone for an hour.
Yep. So yes.
Also, what I would like to add about garlics, you need to take it for a while in order to get it to effect. It's not like you take a paracetamol or ibuprofen and your headache is gone. Like, you need to build it up in your system. Like Indians, they use turmeric in everything. Yep. Because it's it's just basic. It needs to build up in your system. Once it's built, it's got a certain turmeric level in your blood and in your cell structure, and you're immune for diseases.
Well, it also depends on the type of turmeric,
what you need to
right?
do is eat it on a daily basis. And
absolutely.
It's food dye.
Yep, absolutely.
It makes it look nice and beautiful.
I joke in my family that they get cinnamon and turmeric on everything, with the exception of I don't put turmeric in their oatmeal.
Or ice cream.
I do draw the line. I do draw some lines, but literally everything I make, doesn't matter. I always throw a bit of turmeric in it. Everyone in my family knows, like, it's just everything's yellow because it's all got turmeric in it. And but it depends.
Permanently stained yellow.
Yeah, my white cutting board is actually permanently stained orange because of cutting fresh turmeric. But it's the thing, right? Like, it depends on quality. So this is where it's really important to know who your source is. So, for example, when we left Morocco, I brought to Australia a kilo of fresh turmeric, freshly ground turmeric from Morocco, because the Moroccan turmeric is like second to none. It is phenomenal stuff. And now I'm stuck using the normal stuff that you buy in the store, and I'm like, I got to use 3 times as much to achieve the same flavor. So you've got to know, like, I mean, this is the whole thing. So, for example, I try to use as much turmeric root as I can, like fresh root, and I just grate it up with a cheese grater on really, really fine grating side, and I put that into sauces and soups, etc., etc. But it depends on quality. It's the same thing with cinnamon, right? most of the cinnamon, the powdered cinnamon that you get, has been sitting around, going through a process. It's by the time it gets to a store shelf that you buy it, it's already lost most of its medicinal quality. So the best thing you can do is buy proper like cinnamon sticks and grind them yourself as you need them, right? Like you're going to do something with cinnamon, get a cinnamon stick, grind it yourself. Yeah, I'm out of them right now. Yeah, vanilla beans is the same thing. Know thy source. Knowing the source is illegal in the States. Yeah, Stephanie, I'm not going to say you're wrong.
I'm going to show you what I'm cooking tonight.
Show us.
These are getting ready to go in the oven.
Ooh, asparagus. I haven't had any asparagus in like a year.
Bacon.
Wrapped in bacon with red peppers. Oh, that looks
really
delish. That looks totally. And you know what? Your white baking dish, I have the exact same one.
Yeah.
I have the exact same one. I fucking love it.
Looks yummy, Jane. Yum, yum.
I've got a red sauce that's going to go on top of it.
Nice.
I shouldn't serve this, but Italian bread. Can't have any Italian dish without a little Italian bread.
Yeah, you gotta have. Well, we have Maltese bread here. We have Maltese bread here, which is damn good. If you like Italian bread, the Maltese bread is good. Really, really hard on the outside. Like the outside is extremely hard and crusty, and the inside is just like so soft and perfect for sopping up juice.
Or soup.
Soups.
Oh, something else I was going to say real quick. It popped in my head as you were talking about, making like things illegal, like plants or whatever. Like someone, who's that? Stephanie mentioned, the illegal thing here in the States. It makes me think of what Bill Hicks said years ago. Made me think of how, the point he was making about marijuana is like, it's funny. It's like isn't like making nature illegal, kind of paranoid, basically. I thought about that again. It's like, a lot of stuff that's illegal it was here before us, as far as I know. It's like, it's paranoid / retarded. Yeah.
And what kills me is there are so many things that grow in gardens in North America that are fucking dangerous. Like, well, that's not so much North America, but dangerous. Lily of the Valley. How many people have got lily of the valley growing in their yard? It smells wonderful. I mean, like you can't help but like they smell so incredible. Do you know that they're extremely dangerous? Two little stems of lily of the valley. A small child eats that, they're dead. Dead. And cats or dogs eat lily of the valley, they're fucking dead. So you have plants that are really, really dangerous that people just, you can buy them. You can go to like a garden center and fucking buy them. And there's not even a warning on them. I remember literally going into a garden center. There was, God, you guys were just little. And they were doing a big thing for Children's Gardening Day. And they were like, come buy these plants and all the children are going to do this. And they had pots and pots of lily of the valley. And I went to the person in charge and was like, are you fucking, and foxglove, exactly. Foxglove is another one, which is the same, lily of the valley and foxglove contain a chemical called digitalis, which is a heart medicine. It's what heart medicine is made from. And literally 2 or 3 is enough to kill a child. Like that. And I said to this guy, I was like, you cannot tell me that you're actually handing out lily of the valley for these children to plant. And he was like, yes, all the children love them. They smell so good. I said, do you know that they're toxic? Like highly, highly fucking dangerous? And he was like, no, that's ridiculous. I was like, my friend, this is like, how can you be doing this? How can you be in charge of organizing something like this and you don't even know what plants you're giving to them? Insane. But, cannabis is illegal. Because, it's terrible for you. It's so dangerous. Smoking the marijuana. The marijuana. That's right. Smoking the marijuana. It'll make you turn you into a heroin addict. It will. It's true.
I'm sorry. That one got me. The marijuana.
The marijuana. That's right. The marijuana. You got to be careful.
Yeah, the way you said marijuana. Where have maybe I heard it. Heard him say that on the Dukes of Hazzard. That marijuana. Maybe I heard him say that marijuana. Roscoe P. Yeah.
It's people who don't know how to say it because there are a bunch of. I'm not.
Hillbillies.
I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to stop. Stopping right here.
Hey, y'all know I named Roscoe after Roscoe P. Coltrane from the Dukes of Hazzard. That's funny, Star.
Did you seriously? I did not.
I swear I did. Funny. I swear I did, and you know the connection.
Tee hee hee. Okay, that is funny.
Next thing you're going to say, Perignon is the wrong way to pronounce that wine too, right?
Hey, Dawn, I missed that.
I'm just going to not say anything, Maury. I'm just not going to say anything.
What, Star?
Oh, hey, Dawn, I missed that. You named what or who after slipping out of...
My little wiener dog. My little wiener dog is named Roscoe after Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Oh,
from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Instead of Flash after his bloodhound or whatever. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and we're talking about marijuana, right?
Marijuana shit.
Every day. Yeah.
That was so funny.
Roscoe likes it. Yeah.
Too funny. Too fucking funny.
You should see the rain here, man. It is coming down. It's like pitch dark.
We'll change the rain for the window.
But it's not orange, right?
No.
Or it isn't green though, yeah.
Oh my God. That's too funny.
Yeah, Anna came over and visited today. You know Anna.
Which group. Anna?
The one that got flooded out. She got flooded out during the last storm.
Oh, yeah.
Anna Proctor.
How's she doing?
Remember? She's good. I'm helping her over again today for the second time. She's real sweet. Oh, she doesn't live that far from me.
Oh, that's nice.
A little bit.
Not that bad.
Nice to have some unfuckers that are somewhat close to
you. Yeah.
Well, I'm just rolling up my last smoke for the night because I'm tired, and it is already 12:07. So, last smoke, and then we're gonna. Most of our chat this night has been nothing about cooking and cars and blenders and fucking.
It's been great.
Just hanging out, shooting the shit.
On a serious note, another one of these meetings where we came together and talked about stuff we liked instead of the stuff them bastards are doing. Notice the vibration and how much nicer it is. Granted, we get to talk about the negative stuff all the time because it's always there. But again, this is the second time that I know we've spent damn near 2 hours enjoying ourselves, and it's nice. I'll say that for myself, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that observation.
Agree, Maury.
Yep. It's nice to just sit back and chat. It doesn't have to be deep, meaningful fucking shit all the time. Sometimes you just want to chat and talk about stupid movies and old clunker cars and fucking where to buy a cast iron frying pan.
Good food.
And sheets.
And sheets, and the quality of good old-fashioned flannel sheets, regardless of how ugly they are.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Quinlan's hopefully going up to Manchester
this fall
in October with some friends. They're going to take her and Kira up to Manchester for a long weekend to go see a show. I'm going to go see a show, and they're talking about they're going to hit all the secondhand shops. I'm like, go. We're going to send you up with an empty suitcase, and Mom's going to send you with a fucking list. And Dawn, if I make it down there, if I make it down to North Carolina, you can guarantee I'll be coming with an empty suitcase going, right, I know that we're having this fun time, but someone take me to the secondhand stores because I need to do some fucking shopping.
Oh my God. Maury, did you hear that, Maury? Where's Maury?
Yeah, I heard it. I like to see it.
I know, you're laughing your ass off right now, aren't you?
Why?
That's Maury. He's all about that.
Maury, Tag team. If I get to North Carolina, we're going shopping.
Hey, I got you covered, girl. I got you covered. You'll be fine. You're going to be just fine.
Second-hand shopping in North Carolina.
Yeah, and it's so inexpensive to eat there too. I mean, out of all our trips, me and Maury think the best food is in Lake Lure and surrounding. It's great, and it's so inexpensive, and it's like homemade.
Yep.
It's so good.
There you go. Well, I like to cook, anyways. Regardless,
you can cook for us if you come.
I'll cook. I'll make you some Moroccan food. I'll make you some Thai food.
Yeah, maybe Randy will be there too. So
I'll make you some food that'll be so spicy it'll make your nose hairs curl.
I don't know, because I'm like your husband. I can't take spice. I'm a wiener like he is. So tell him I'm part of the wiener club.
Okay, you guys can be part of the wiener club together.
Yeah.
I got Quinlan. I'm working on Quinlan at least. The other ones won't do spicy, but Quinlan started adventuring. Nancy sent me a bottle of Frank hot sauce because that's like I fucking drink that shit. And Quinlan started putting a little on her food.
Yeah, I just can't do it, girl. It freaks me. I mean, I literally, it's just awful. I am like I can do crawfish, but that's about as much spice as I can take. I can't do it.
We're gonna have to work on you.
Yeah, it's bad, girl.
That Louisiana food must be tough on you too then, Dawn, right?
Well, that's what I mean. Like crawfish, I can do a little spice, but it's just to a point, and then it's terrible.
So I shouldn't make you my famous Thai green curry then.
No.
Nah, I'm sure Randy and Deb and the rest of them, Charlotte and Gina and them, they'll eat it. We'll just have to have them all over. Or you can make it at their house if you want.
Don't forget, Mad Tom will be there too.
Yeah.
Well, okay, John, you joke. Okay, so the Scovilles, right? 300,000 Scovilles, or go home, right? When we were in Australia, having a wonderful Ben around, Ben's garden, which was as random as they come. You've never seen a random garden until you saw Ben's garden. 4 different kinds of chili peppers. So we had one kind. They had the little tiny Thai ones, which are just like the size of the end of your baby finger. No, that was the bell pepper. So the little tiny Thai ones, the green and red, proper chilies, like the long chilies. They have something there. It is shaped like a bell, and I mean quite literally shaped like a bell. And when they're unripe, they're green, and then when they ripen up, they turn red. Okay, hold on.
Let my dogs in.
Doppy, I'm going to. There we go. Thank you, John. Stop that. And when they're not ripe, they're kind of a sour hot. They're milder hot, kind of sour hot. But then when they turn red, they're like hot. And then we have these little. They're a cross between a Scotch bonnet and what's the one from Jamaica? Anyways, and I made hot sauce. I made chili sauce, and no one could go into the house for 8 hours.
I swear to God, she cleared
because
everyone
the
out of the
fumes
house.
from me cooking down all these. Because I put all the chilies in, and then some fresh garlic fresh ginger from the garden, and I put some lemongrass in there. And oh yeah, the Scotch bonnets, they're little tiny round things, and they're very innocent looking. And I put down this massive pot of like hot sauce, and then I had the dehydrator going, and everyone kicked me out of the kitchen, said, get that dehydrator the fuck out of the kitchen. And I had to put it out on the porch because you couldn't go into the kitchen. Literally, your eyes started to burn. So when I do work with chili peppers, I always work in latex gloves, right? Like you don't ever do it with your bare fingers, ever. So I've got gloves on. I took the gloves off properly. I mean, I am surgically trained. So like I surgically stripped off the gloves directly into the garbage disposal, washed my hands with dish soap, And 2 hours later, I had an itch, and I touched my eye, and my eye like burned, like turned completely red. And that was the chili sauce going through the glove after hours, after washing my hands multiple times. The oils were still there. Holy crap. I've even melted my fingernails. I actually did it when I was doing that chili sauce. I had the second batch I made, I had a little hole in my glove, and I didn't realize it, and literally melted the edge of my fingernail just from the juice and the oils from it.
Yeah, that's what you just said there, Danny. It makes me think of the oil in a lot of really hot peppers, like when I've eaten like habanero. Like,
Yep.
Yes, it's like I cannot eat it just raw, and even if I saute it in some olive oil with some chicken and stuff, even after that, then it, like you said, that stuff's so strong. It's like it's in the skillet, it's in the oil.
Well, if you want to start experimenting with putting some chilies in your food, because it is really healthy for you, one of the best things you can do is get a really good quality oil, like something that's a really good organic quality oil, and get the chilies. Especially for I do it with Thai chilies all the time. Cut them in half lengths. Cut the tops off, like the stem part off. Cut them in half lengthwise. Strip out all the seeds, because you don't want the seeds in there, and then just put them in the oil and let them sit for 2 weeks in the oil, and then use the oil to cook with, because it'll flavor the oil, and it actually imbibes a lot of the healing factor of the chilies into the oil. But because it's not like getting an actual bite of a piece, it's hot, but it's a different hot. But you still get a lot of the nutritional value from the chilies just by soaking them in the oil. You can do the same thing with vinegar too. You can do the same thing. You can put them in, basically making them almost like a pickle, and then use that vinegar for cooking. I use that, and then I use the vinegar from the chili vinegar to make salad dressings and stuff. Like when I make deviled eggs, I'll use a little teaspoon of the chili vinegar in the deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs.
Stephanie, words of wisdom: never let your dairy animals into the garlic or the onion patch. You're not going to like the taste of your milk.
Well, it makes me happy that you're bringing up Lake Lure, so that tells me you're thinking about it.
I'm definitely, you got me thinking about it enough. You definitely, trust me, like I said, you've got me thinking about it.
And
I'm thinking about it. I haven't told anyone else in the family.
I'm going to hit Jeff Gates up. Him and I are going to partner up on your ass. Yeah, me and Jeff, we'll handle you. We'll bring Jeff out there too.
They're going to handle me. That's it. I'm in trouble. That's it. I'm in trouble.
You know,
Go fill it up again.
it'll be good. Be like a gigantic gathering.
There you go. The Unfuckers North Carolina meetup. Oh, listen. Fresh garlic.
We'll be FaceTiming you guys.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. Yeah, it's fresh garlic season right now. So you get the baby garlic. Oh my God. Like I said, my whole kitchen just stinks so much of garlic and rosemary at the moment. It's unbelievable.
She made soup last week.
Danny, how big is the ball?
The balls are pretty big. Like the balls are, the ones that we've got right now the balls are about yay big. Now the cloves are like half the size of mine.
Super tiny, yeah.
They're teeny cloves, but they're well developed. They're at the stage where they haven't gone to the, like by the end of summer, they'll be back to like what you buy in the grocery store with the crispy skin.
Yeah.
But right now they're the baby stage, or I guess you'd call it more like the adolescent stage. They're not quite the baby, because you can get the babies too. Like we're getting the baby stalks, which they're just like spring onions. They just look like spring onions, but they're garlic.
Well, garlic tastes like
we have a grocery store here called, they're not all over the United States, but they have several locations in Florida and over like scattered around the Midwest, and they're called Earth Fair. And their philosophy, and they have it posted in their store, on their grocery bags, etc., that you'll never find this list of ingredients in any of our products. They're awesome. Yeah. So all the meat I get from them is grass-fed, organic and things like that.
Nice.
But what was I going to tell you?
Baby garlic.
Yeah. So a couple of months ago, the only garlic they had there were these really small balls, right? And so each individual garlic, so they peel the skin from.
We're losing you, Jane. Say that again. Each individual garlic
ball or clove.
Clove, yeah.
Yeah, it was real small. You
Yep.
can't hear me well?
You just, every so often you cut out.
I just bought a new camera yesterday. Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Huh.
Let's see.
So is the microphone in the camera?
The new ones, yeah. Yeah, your
Okay.
webcam will have a microphone in it.
Okay. I bought this 12-foot cord that I could attach to it so I could move the camera around the house.
Nice.
Away from the PC, you know what I mean? Without having to use my phone cam. But anyway, so I guess the easiest way really to get the skins off of those small cloves is to roast it in the oven. Put a little olive oil on there.
In tin foil? I mean, I use tin foil if I'm doing one, and I'll put it to the side of the roast potatoes. But if you have a little glass dish with a lid, and just roll them all in the whole ball in a little bit of olive oil, put the lid on, and then roast that. You can do it on the barbecue too.
I just set them right, standing up straight on a baking, like a cookie sheet, and pour olive oil on them, and then roast them like at 325 for maybe a half hour.
Yep.
And then pull them up. Yep.
Well, I'll do them like I say, like at the side of I'll make the roast potatoes, and I'll do like one in the corner.
Right. That would infuse your potatoes though nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
So, I love spring garlic season. I love that. Unfortunately, I hate buying it because it's all crap garlic. When you get the big heads of garlic and like the cloves are like that size, that's all shit garlic. It really is shit. It has pretty much no nutritional value in it. But sometimes it's all you can get, and I'll take one of those big ass ones, and then you roast it till the point where when you open up the skin, it's just smushing. The garlic is actually smush, and then I spread that on baguettes and have it with roast dinner. No one will go near you for a week because you're going to smell so badly of garlic. But man, is it ever good.
So Danny, the thing I wanted to ask you about, I lost track, was what was the name you used for the garlic you get there that are small like this, like I'm describing?
Like they're baby garlic. It's baby garlic. It has
garlic.
Yeah, just baby young garlic. Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Have you ever what is it called, fermented garlic?
I've never had that, and I've heard it's.
I'm doing it for the first time. They've been in the jar for maybe 2 months now, in good, in that one Bragg's vinegar. Yeah. Yep. Do you
tell me how it works out, because I've never done it, and I've heard it's like the best thing to do.
Doing it. I'm just playing. I got all these herbs. I'm like, what do I do with them? I want to make a tincture. I want to make a syrup. I want to, do that.
I put herbs in that. So, for example, I just had a shit ton of rosemary. And rosemary here grows wild everywhere. Like, literally, people use it as hedges.
Nice.
Like, it grows everywhere. You go out into the hills, you climb around, and you're going to find massive, I'm talking small trees of rosemary.
Do you have dandelion?
We don't get, we have a subspecies of dandelion. It doesn't grow the same way, though.
You don't get the furry parts.
Well, it does, but
they blow on and
short. We get them, and they end up growing as long, big tendrils. They'll be this long.
Oh.
But they got the same head on them, a very almost identical leaf structure, not.
Do they sell them in the grocery?
No, it's a weed here. They don't.
I mean, it's weird everywhere else.
Yeah. Just nope.
Interesting.
But yeah, like I just when I get fresh herbs in season, I go get a really good bottle of olive oil, and I just fill like like you have to pour out some of the oil, obviously, and I just like shove all the herbs in there with the oil. So I have like rosemary oil and thyme oil and all these different things.
Right. In separate jars, or are you blending them?
Sometimes I mix them together. Sometimes it depends. Like if I'd thought about it, I had a pile of fresh thyme and a pile of fresh rosemary in the fridge, and I'd forgot it got shoved to the back of the vegetable drawer.
Right.
And I pulled it out and put a pile of it into the soup tonight, and the rest of it was like it's already gone soft and squishy. And
I went through the same thing. I actually tried to preserve some in the freezer, and it doesn't work that way.
I do it for soups. Like I do if I have tons of rosemary, I just chuck it in the freezer.
Yep.
In a plastic bag. Just chuck it in the freezer.
Yeah, even like cilantro. Even though it's a real thin leaf, you can still freeze it and add it to your sauces or whatever.
Yep, sauces and soups, it works just fine. Still has flavor.
Tamales, add it to your chicken.
It's just soggy. The crisp is gone, so it's all very soggy.
Right. Yeah, right.
But I literally, our freezer that we have here is so fucking small, and I keep saying I need like at least a deep freeze, like even though an apartment size one. Just like a small one.
Like a little box freezer.
Yeah, like a little box freezer.
Yeah.
But in Canada, I had a deep freeze, so I did a lot of preparing foods and putting it in the deep freeze.
Shut up.
What I would do is if I got like big bunches of basil, I would put it in the blender and pulverize it down, put it into ice cube trays, like fill an ice cube tray with it, freeze it, then pop it out of the ice cube trays and just put it in a Ziploc bag, and you'd have basil ice cubes.
So you had a freeze dryer? You had a freeze dryer?
No, never.
Oh.
No, just put them in freezer bags. Like
right. Okay.
Any of the herbs that I had, if I bought big batches and I couldn't use it up fast enough, I just put it through the blender and with a little bit of oil, like an olive oil or something, just enough to make it liquefied, and then just freeze it in ice cube trays. And then just dump out the ice cube tray into a Ziploc bag, and I'd label it here: basil, rosemary, oregano, ginger, doesn't matter what it was, and I'd just throw it in the freezer. And then I'd make it soup. I'd go, there's some basil, and I just pull out an ice cube and chuck it in the soup.
Yep, that's a great technique. But with a small freezer, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, I don't have the room.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you guys, other people talk.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go, guys. I gotta go to bed. I'm tired. And I'll talk to you tomorrow morning when you wake up and you've recovered. And Dawn, I'll talk to you tomorrow to verify the order. And yeah, I may have a funky show for Sunday night. And Ann, I'll talk to you tomorrow because you'll be involved. Guess what? I'm going to be on the show Sunday night if you're available. My buddy Philip, who is the researcher, who came on 2 weeks, I don't know, a little while ago, and we got talking about health stuff. We're going to be talking about diet stuff. And we're going to be talking about minerals, and we're going to be talking about how to get the minerals in your diet, how to prepare foods. He's going to get into the whole lectin thing because he's actually in the middle of doing research about the lectins. Sony, Cara and I have to work it out. It's just been such a crazy fucking week. We have to do a recording in the morning, my time. So we're just going to end up pre-recording something. It's just been literally insane, and we haven't been able to get our schedules to meet up. So, yeah, so I will probably have Philip on Sunday, and I think it's going to be a real fucking interesting show because when this guy talks about, like I said, he's a researcher. So he's not someone who talks from the place of, like, I read a book. He talks from the place of, like, I wrote a book. So he's going to get into the lectin stuff because he, like the stuff that Cliff High was talking about with vegetables, because he's actually doing experiments on lectins right now. So I think it's going to be a very interesting conversation. Very, very interesting. God knows when Philip and I start talking, you never know where we're going to go with it. So, yeah, guys, I love you all. I'm going to say good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
That's one small step for man.